Welcome back to Be the Trader, everyone. If you're listening on the podcast, please take a moment and give the show a rating and review. It really helps me and goes a long way. It's a good way to say thank you to, and I appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. But let's get this started. I wanted to talk about some things that I've been really working on myself, and I feel like was a big shift for me. As you guys know, throughout my journey, I've been sharing, the ups, the downs, and been having some good times right now. And what I can tell you is it's a shift in mindset. And I'm talking about your reward, right? Your risk reward. And what I mean by that is not just focusing on your risk, but also really focusing on your reward. And I know coming from me, I don't like to talk about P&L, which I'm not going to talk about. I don't ever share that because it makes no sense. There's no value in that. But what is valuable is how you determine your reward. And, I talk to many traders, and what I've found is for me, for the longest time, I've been focused on, at the beginning of my trading career, to give you perspective, I was only trading stocks that would give me a good risk reward, but I wasn't taking advantage of it. For instance, maybe I see a good risk reward 3-1, but I end up taking profits at, on average across hundreds of trades, 1.5. And that had to do with me being nervous, didn't want to get back profit, thinking it's going to go against me, looking at the level 2, getting faked out. Maybe I saw support level that I was like, oh, it's going to bounce here, so I'll just cover it all. A lot of reasons behind that. And it all came around or focused on not wanting to give back money, right? Greed and so forth. And then I started focusing on, after interviewing like Brian Lee trades or watching him on Twitter and other traders, I started thinking, you know what, let me focus on 3-1. Like I need to get that. So I told myself my goal was 3-1. And it helped me. I mean, actually, over time, hundreds of trades later, I increased my profit ratio to 2 to 2.5, sometimes 2.8 on some months, but 2.5 to 1. With the same thing, like sometimes I would take it off at 2, because level 2 or because of support or something like that. And it was all still based around fear or greed or whatever you want to say. But what I found is more times than not, when I look back in all my trades, which I do often, I kind of want to see where I've been. It's good to do if you don't do that because you can kind of discover things when you have perspective, right? When you take a step back weeks away and then go look months back then, you can kind of see things differently. And you've grown since then, so you see things completely differently, actually. And what I have found is like most of my trades, number one, for me, I end up entering like really good spots. But I end up getting stopped out later in the trade because I adjust my risk. And I adjust my risk and I justified it. It made sense. But however, more times than not, after I got stopped out, even though it's for a profit, the stock later on went down further and hit my price target and more. And so I started thinking, I said, well, what if I just held and didn't adjust my risk? Sure, I'd give back profits for sure. Like definitely already happened before recently, actually. But then there's those times where I make 3, 4, 5R. And it's happening, like where I'll make 4, 5R. And that's something I haven't made in one trade ever. Not because the opportunity was there, but because I changed my mindset. And let me tell you this. I used to think my goal was 3R, which means whenever I got close to it, I would be antsy because I'm close to my goal. But now my minimum goal is 3R. Now, this is very hard. Like it's probably the hardest thing I have to do. I've done in my trading, but I feel like at every part of your career in trading, you get better and better and better. And so now I pretty much hold until 3R minimum. And then based on the chart, based on the range, I may end up holding it for 4, 5, 6, or hold it all day. And if I see that range, I take half at 3R and then hold the rest until 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever I see as a possible trade. And it's been challenging because, this week I was in trades where I was up 3R, took half, and then it went all the way against me. And I didn't adjust my risk at all. And you might be thinking, man, why would you not make a trailing stop? Well, I challenge you. I mean, why do you make a trailing stop? Because you want to protect your gains, because you're focused on not losing, because you're focused on not giving back, because you're focused on the wrong thing. And what I'm focused on is making sure that on hundreds of trades, if I can keep a 3R gain and only lose 1R, because you can control that for the most part, you can control your 1R loss. Then over time, you just need a 30% win ratio and you're still profitable. Now, that's not my goal. My strategies, knock on wood, things have been going really well. Like I have a high win percentage. So if you maintain a good win percentage and you have 3R plus, you can really make some changes. So I'm challenging all of you. If your average profit is 1R, half R, 2R, up it. Up it to 2.5, to 3. Don't go dramatic. Remember, it took me a while. I was 1.5, then 2, then 2.5. Now I'm 3 minimum period, like plus. And it's stressful. I'm not going to lie. Because there's going to be times where nothing works. And and they all get close to 3R, but I take no profits and they all go against me. And there's going to be times where everything works. Like this past Friday, everything worked. And I had 3 trades. They all hit 3R plus. Like, it's interesting how just a shift in my mindset, it's helping me hold longer. Now, granted, it's not that easy because I don't sit there and watch. I put my trade, put my stop, put my profit target, and I go do yoga, or I go work out, or I go and do something. Talk to another trading buddy about other crap, not trading, just other stuff. Because if I sit there and watch it, I'll be stressed. And I don't want to be that type of trader. Myself, I like to hold something until my price target. Because I know, or at least for me, more times than not on my strategies, I do end up getting there. And if I don't, that's okay. I mean, I could literally think about this. If you only took 3 to 1, you could be right on only 30 trades out of 100 trades and still be profitable and have less stress. Now, granted, it could be stressful losing. It could be stressful losing multiple times in a row. But you need to believe, you need to understand that probabilities is what's on your side. That's very hard. And so what I remind myself, like when I have days like Friday or whatever, great weeks, right? I tell myself what I learned from Stephen Dux when I interviewed him, which is really interesting. He goes, when he has good days or even a day where he just won a trade, he thinks I lost 70% of that win already. And I've been thinking that way. Like Friday, I lost 70% of that. So I walked away with only 1R. I tell myself that over and over because we got to ground ourselves. We got to humble ourselves. It's very hard for me not to share with the trading community. I talk about I hate people sharing P&L. I hate people sharing charts. You know how hard it is not to do that? I do. It's hard. And so I know people do it because they want to share. But I'm telling you, as soon as you start sharing, as soon as you start celebrating, your ego grows. And granted, I mean, there's like one trader out there who knows my charts. I share with them and share my journey. But at the same time, like I gotta keep myself checked. Because it's not a big deal. It's not. These good weeks just make up for those weeks that are coming where I'm going to lose 3 times in a row. I'm going to hit max loss. I'm going to have a rough week, a rough month. But what keeps me alive is having these good weeks. And the only way these good weeks happen is if you stick to your plan. You stick to your risk reward, your profit target. If you take it too soon because you're nervous, I don't think you're going to make it. And one of my good buddies of mine, he's a great trader, but he scalps, not on purpose. But I honestly think there's a lot of traders out there who may be good scalpers, but I don't think it's sustainable because you can lose. Most people can't take this mentally. You can win. Okay, you scalp. You have a 70% win ratio. But you can lose months or weeks of your gains in one trade if it goes against you because you have to size so big to scalp. And it makes no sense to even think that that's sustainable. mentally sustainable. That's so draining. So be careful if you're a scalper. Just challenge yourself. And if you're not, okay, cool. And if you are, okay, cool. I don't care. Personally, I don't think scalping is trading. I don't. I just think it's a strategy. It's scalping. It's not a trader. Like, people are going to hate me for that. Oh, well. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's sustainable. And for people to teach other people how to scalp, like, it's the hardest thing to do. And hats off to you, if you're a great scalper, good shit. Because at the same time, you're super, super rare in an already very, very difficult game. Trading is not easy. And then scalping is like way harder. And it is. And you can have a high win ratio. But at the end of the day, guys, if you are trading and you're trying to become successful, I don't want to replace my career. I didn't leave my corporate job. I didn't leave it to create a job where I got to be here 9 to 5 because I'm scalping in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And then all that stress. I'm not trying to create more stress. I'm trying to trade in a way where I have less stress. I don't have to be here. And I take one trade, 2 trades can make my week. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want, because I want to have opportunity to do other things, to make podcasts, to make videos, to hang out with my family, to go with my wife, to travel. That's what I want. I guess it all depends on what you want. If you want to be at your computer all day and scalp, then go for it. But I don't want to be that way. So I hope this idea helps you, and I hope you take the challenge. If you do take the challenge, DM me on Twitter. I'm very active there. Or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe, thumbs up if you like this, and let me know you're taking the challenge and what that challenge is for you. I don't care if that's increasing your reward from 1 to 1.2 to 1.5, from 2 to 2.5, from 3 to 4. I don't care what it is, because there's no judgment here. But as long as you're improving, that's the goal. And you'll see, some of you out there may have a good strategy, but you're not taking your profits properly. And if you just adjust it just a little bit, you'll be amazed at how you can become unprofitable to profitable. Give it a shot. Let me know what your goal is. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care.